So, Deicide just released a new album, and with that occasion, I decided to review all of their previous ones. So let's get into it. First, we have Deicide, released in 1990. This is one of the strongest death metal debuts of all time, only topped by Altars of Madness. All the songs out of this album are great. Lunatics of God's Creation begins with with the sound of an opening gate, which leads you in the world of this album. Sacrificial Suicide is my first Deicide song, and my favorite out of this album is Oblivious to Evil, which I covered both on this channel and on my covers channel, link in the description. Overall, like I said, a really strong debut, a great album. I will give it like a 9 out of 10. Next we have Legion, released in 1992. This is their most technical album and regarded by many fans as their best, but I tend to disagree with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it has some absolute bangers, like the opening track, Satan Spawned the Cacao Demon, Dead But Dreaming, Trifiction, but I don't really enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the debut. Still, I will give it an 8.5 out of 10. Next, we have Once Upon the Cross, released in 1995. Compared to their previous two ones, this one has a more straightforward songwriting approach that fits amazingly well. You have absolute classics like Once Upon the Cross, the opening track, which I also recently covered on my covers channel, link in the description, and When Satan Rules His World, which is probably one of the catchiest songs that Deicide ever made, Kill the Christian, and also They Are the Children of the Underworld, which is notoriously hard to play. Overall, out of the first three albums, I enjoyed this one the most. I will give it an 9 out of 10. Moving on, we have my favorite Deicide album, and in my opinion their best one, Serpents of the Light, released in 1997. Listening to this album is like listening to a best of compilation. You have songs like Serpents of the Light, Bastards of Christ, Blame It on God, This Is Hell We Ran, I Am No One, Slave to the Cross, Creatures of Habit. I will stop here. This is a 10 out of 10. Next, we have a bit of a dip in quality, both in songwriting and also in production. In Incinerate Him in 2000, it still has some pretty good songs like Bible Basher, Forever Hate You, Creatures of Habit, but overall it's a pretty forgettable one. 6 out of 10. Next up, we have an album that describes the listener's experience perfectly. It's a torment, but not in a good way. Knowing that they made this one to get out of their label deal, I won't talk much shit about it. It's bad. It's an 3.5 out of 10. Next we have Scars of the Crucifix, released in 2004. This one is also pretty forgettable, a little bit better than Incinerate Him. You have Scars of the Crucifix, which is a good song, and Fuck Your God, which was used as a torture method, which is pretty cool. But overall, this is mediocre album. It's said that the Hoffman brothers left on such a mediocre note. 6.5 out of 10. Next up we have The Stench of Redemption, released in 2006. Not too many things to say about this one. It's a bit better than Scars of the Crucifix. It has Homage for Satan, which is a great song. 7 out of 10. Next we have the fastest and most brutal album that Deicide ever made, Till Death Do Us Part. I don't like it. 5.5 out of 10. Next up we have To Hell With God, released in 2012. This is a pretty good album. I really enjoyed it. The title track is really good. You have also songs like Witness of Death and Angels of Hell, which are really good songs. Overall, I will give it like 7 out of 10. Return to form, if you want to say so. Next we have In the Minds of Evil, released in 2013, which I really enjoy. It has great songs like the title track, which I also covered, link in the description. Thou Be Gone, God Kill, Beyond Salvation, Kill the Lights of Christ. Overall, a really strong album. I will give it 8 out of 10. Next we have Overtures of Blasphemy, released in 2018. I said before that Sacrificial Suicide was my introduction to Deicide. Well, this album made me into a Deicide fan. You have again the opening track, One With Satan. Great opening, amazing song. Highly recommend listening to it. Crawl from the Shadows has a pretty melodic feel to it, which I really enjoy. Seal the Tune Below. It's a freshy song and a really good one. Yeah, I will give this one also an 8 out of 10. Great album, really solid. So that leads us to Banished by Sin, their most recent one released these days. This was my most anticipated album for 2024. I really enjoyed the singles. It opens with From Unknown Heights. From Unknown Heights You Shall Fall. Way too long song title, but a great song. Woke from God and Ritual Denied are, although they are pretty good songs, I don't really like them all that much. The title track is amazing, really love it. Overall, I will give it an 8 out of 10. A really solid album, highly recommend listening to it. So that's it. Would you agree with me? I doubt it. Subscribe.